Estate tax filings in New York. Deadlines, requirements, and penalties. New York estate tax rules can create unexpected obligations even when no federal tax is owed. New York administers its estate tax independently from the federal system. That means an estate may owe nothing to the IRS but still face a New York estate tax bill. The state has a smaller exemption amount, strict deadlines, and serious penalties for late or inaccurate filings. If you are handling an estate in Syracuse or anywhere in Onondaga County, understanding these rules is critical. Assets are valued as of the date of death, and that value determines filing obligations and tax exposure. A return is required if the decedent's estate plus any taxable gifts exceed New York's exemption threshold. This applies to estates administered in Syracuse Surrogates Court and throughout central New York. Your gross estate includes everything you owned or controlled at death. This can include a home in Syracuse, bank accounts, investments, business interests, retirement accounts, and personal property. Life insurance proceeds may also be included if the decedent owned the policy. Many families cross the filing threshold even if they never considered themselves wealthy. Retirement accounts and life insurance often push estates above the exemption level. For deaths in 2025, New York's basic exclusion amount is $7.16 million. Estates below that amount generally owe no New York estate tax. The federal exemption is much higher, at $13.99 million per person in 2025. That difference is why many estates in New York owe state tax even when no federal tax is due. New York also has a cliff rule. If the taxable estate exceeds the exemption by more than 5%, the exemption benefit may be lost entirely. That can result in the entire taxable estate being subject to tax rather than only the amount above the threshold. Any executor or administrator of an estate valued above $7.16 million must file Form ET 706. The gross estate calculation includes assets that pass outside probate, such as joint accounts and transfer on death accounts. Non-residents who own real estate or tangible property in New York may also face filing obligations. Whether they must file depends on the total federal gross estate plus includable gifts. If filing is required, New York calculates tax only on property located within the state. Estate tax returns are due 9 months after the date of death. The deadline begins on the date of death, not when probate is opened or an executor is appointed. Missing the deadline can lead to significant costs. The state may impose a failure to file penalty of 5% of the unpaid tax per month, up to 25%. Interest also accrues from the original due date. Executors can request a 6-month extension to file, but an extension does not extend the time to pay any tax due. If payment is late, New York may add an additional late payment penalty of 0.5% per month, up to 25%. Form ET 706 requires a complete listing of assets, deductions, and taxable gifts. The return contains multiple schedules depending on asset type, including real estate, stocks, bonds, cash, and business interests. Supporting documentation is essential. Real estate must be valued through formal appraisals from qualified professionals. Bank and investment accounts require statements showing balances as of the exact date of death. Closely held businesses often require professional valuation reports. Late or incorrect filings can trigger audits, penalties, and delays. New York imposes an accuracy-related penalty of 10% if the reported tax is understated by more than 10% or $2,000. Filing a fraudulent return with intent to evade tax can lead to criminal tax fraud charges. While most estates involve ordinary mistakes, intentional concealment of assets can result in severe consequences. Working with a lawyer can help executors meet deadlines, document deductions, and avoid costly errors. An attorney can also guide families in Syracuse through the valuation and filing process while reducing exposure to penalties. Davies Law Firm assists families throughout Central New York with estate tax filings, required documentation, and deadline compliance. The firm helps executors and administrators protect beneficiaries by preparing accurate returns and avoiding unnecessary financial loss. If you are settling an estate or planning ahead, speaking with an experienced law firm can prevent expensive missteps. Davies Law Firm can be reached at 315-472-6511, located at 210 East Fayette Street, Syracuse, New York, 13202, United States.